Cheap sunglasses. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Shades of cheap sunglasses. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Good job. How's it going, guys? Dave here. Jared just played, what's that, a ZZ Top song, I believe, with an awesome little solo there.
It was ZZ Top, Cheap Sunglasses. Sorry, let me get my...
Yeah, no, sure, no problem.
Let me get my gear on here.
Well, guys, this is our new studio. We took last week off, so we apologize for that, but we had so much setting up to do. We got better lighting, we got moving cameras now, we got 3 camera angles that we can easily flip to. It's a really sweet setup. So yeah, we're very excited to be here and film in the new studio.
Yeah. So basically, I'm Jared Falk.
And I'm Dave
This
Atkinson.
is Dave Atkinson. Okay, and like Dave said, we're at our brand new studio here. You guys all know about the monkeys. The monkeys are the people who operate the cameras, who run the audio, and who switch the cameras during the show. So we have 3 monkeys that work with us, and they're all getting better. They started off rough, but they're the ones responsible for setting this whole thing up. They're the ones responsible for lighting it really nice and for all the camera shots. So I definitely want to thank them, because without them, this show would be impossible. So we couldn't do this on our own. I think you saw the first show we did on our own. Yeah, that was brutal. It had its moments, but
where was our last studio? You want to tell them where our last studio was?
Well, the last studio was in my basement, and it was this tiny little room where the only way to get to the drum sets would to like part the C's, like go between the toms, or go along the walls, and
many a drums were scratched.
If we had too much spaghetti, the night before, it was hard to get through. Yes. But this is much better. More room, can fit bigger kits. Eventually, we'll do some 2 kits.
It's gonna be good. I wanted to play today. Actually, Jared wouldn't let me touch his DWs.
There's no way you're touching these drums.
There's such nice drums and he does not let me play them.
No, I'll let you play them. Maybe
someday.
Yeah. Okay, so I have things here that we're going to do. I want to make sure I go over all this stuff. So today we're also going to be doing some giveaways, okay? Evans Drumheads is a sponsor of Free Drum Lessons. So basically, the way it works is they supply drum heads for our shoots, and we tell everyone that we use their heads and love them. And the thing is about Evans is I was telling people I use their heads and love them before we had some sort of formal sponsorship or endorsement, whatever you want to call it. And so they're great heads. That's those are the only heads I use. And we're going to be talking more about drum head selection later, and I'll tell you more about why I use them and stuff like that. But I mean, it is personal preference, but my personal preference is Evans. And I don't know about you.
Yeah, I was using Evans before I even started.
Okay. Yeah, so they've supplied a bunch of giveaways. So we have EMAD bass drum, Batter and Rezo. We have 2 of those, and we have tom head packs, EC2, 10, 12, and 14-inch tom head packs. So they are, and then we have some drum tuning systems. So we have 6 prizes.
6 prizes, and I think
6 prizes.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Lots of stuff. That's probably $300 worth of stuff. So, yeah, definitely stick around. The only way you win it is if you're in the chat, and the questions are super easy. It's the person who can type the fastest who wins. Okay. Yes, I want to thank Evans. Okay, so let's get started into this. I've talked to a few of you already, and I've told you that this lesson could get out of hand. So we might be here for a while. I won't be offended if you can't stick around the whole time, but definitely try and leave and come back if you want a chance to win the prizes. But if you can stick around, that'd be great, because we're going to be basically reheading and tuning my whole drum set here. Okay, now I told some of you it was a 10-piece, and I do have 10 pieces here, but there's a 26-inch bass drum over there. You guys can't see it, and there's another snare drum. So right now I only have 8 pieces. But let's just kind of get into it here and start tuning. And while we're tuning and putting new heads in the drums, we're just going to tell you what we're doing. Okay, so when you take this to your kit, you can do put up this video, the recorded video, and you can just do it with us. So if you want to tune your 12-inch tom the same time I'm tuning mine, go ahead and do that. Okay, and just follow what I do. Monkey see, monkey do. Okay? Monkeys laugh. Okay, so we're going to start with the 10-inch tom. So can you bring me those drum heads there? Okay, I'm going to pull this mic off.
So we'll do our best to try and give you as much knowledge as we have on this while we're going through it, giving you little tips and tricks we know, because there is a lot of little things that you just develop over experience that we do. So first of all, before we get going, maybe we should talk a little bit of when you should change your toms, like when you think that it's time to reskin your whole kit. Do you have any suggestions when you think, okay, maybe it's time to reskin my kit? Is this a time thing for you? Is it a sound thing?
I think it's a sound thing. I'm not, like, some guys are really, really heavy hitters, and so when they hit the drums, the skins only actually last for a certain amount of time because there's dents in them, and they'll never tune the same as soon as you start denting and nicking them. But for me, it's just a matter of time. Like these heads they don't look too worn, but they've been on there for a while. But I have a few kits, and so I don't always play this one when I play out. But the big reason in reheading this kit is you'll see if you ever cut to the overhead cam there, you'll see that they're all a little bit different. Here I got a G1 coated, and here's like an old crappy Remo head, and the 18-inch has a Remo. So in this case, I'm reheading it because Evans was kind enough to send me all new drum heads for these, so I'm going to put new matching heads on all of them.
Cool.
Yeah.
One thing that I find is when I started drumming, I was a heavy hitter, and I played a lot of heavy rock. So what I would find a lot of times in the middle of my drum, I would start getting little indents, and I would actually lose all elasticity in the middle. And when I would hit it, it would just be a dead sound. So that's a clear giveaway, obviously. But if over time, because this drum head is supposed to be tight on your actual drum there, over time it'll actually lose its elasticity. So you can keep tuning it, but actually given over a year or something like that, it's going to lose a lot of its strength and stuff. So yeah. Before we I start taking this head off, one other thing I wanted to quickly mention, because I'm just about to rip into this here and take off both the resonant and the batter head. But before I do that, you don't just start with one lug and just loosen it right away. These, especially the lower toms and the snare especially, they are on very tight. So if you just loosen one all the way, what's going to happen is you could actually warp the actual rim or the drum itself, because you're taking off a lot of pressure and putting it on other sides. So loosen each one like opposite from each other, kind of like in a star pattern. If Jared's kind of just loosening each one just about a half turn each and slowly going around his whole kit, not doing all at once, just doing a little bit on each time. That way it's a uniform loosening of the tension. So I'm going to start with the batter head on this one here.
Yeah, and I'm going to do the snare drum. We're going to kind of two-time this drum set and get it done fast. Otherwise, we'd be here all day. And this lesson, I have a feeling it's going to go long anyway. And there's a lot of stuff to fit in here. So what I don't have is a snare drum reso head, which normally if you're going to replace the snare drum or replace all your heads, you might as well replace the reso heads. Like all the toms are getting new reso heads as well. And so in this case, I would recommend replacing the reso head, but I didn't get 1 cent, or I might have used it on another drum already.
What's the difference between a reso head and a batter head?
Well, with a tom, generally the reso head is just thinner. So if you're using 2-ply on top, you could have a 1-ply reso head. But in some cases, people have put 1-ply heads on the top and the bottom, right? It's kind of, you get a very different, more opened, and you get like more. The wood seems to sing more. The drums seem to sing more when it's 1-ply head, but I know it is somewhat harder to tune at times. Yeah, so let me just pull this off. Okay, now that I got this pretty much loose.
By the way, guys, if you have questions, you notice that there's no screen here anymore. We actually got our laptops ready to go, so we will have a question and answer period. So if you have any questions about this, maybe jot them down in a notepad or something like that, because we will have a Q&A section. So any questions you have throughout, save them, and we'll answer them all later.
Exactly. Okay, so now I've got the lugs generally loosened with the key, and now I can remove the rest of the lugs just by hand. Okay. Let's throw all of our drum heads at the monkey.
No, I already did.
Frisbee. Okay, so loosening the rest by hand. Hey, monkey. Monkey. Hey, can I look at that camera? Yeah. Up there? Okay. Okay, almost got it. And do you mind passing me the drum head right there? Right.
This one?
Yeah.
I'm almost done both batter and resonant here for the 10-inch tom.
Okay, so this is the old one. This was an Evans super tough head. This is what I generally use in my snare drums. This or the Genera Dry, the HD Dry, which has little holes throughout it. And I chose this head basically just from, I tried all of them. And I even tried the Genera Dry. I tried this ST, I tried the Power Center reverse dot. I tried Remo. It's just a regular Emperor, right? Remo?
Yes.
Remo Emperor. And this is the head that I like the best. There's a little bit more ring to it. So you gotta kind of, if you want something that's more muffled, you gotta put some muffling on there, but we can talk a little bit about that later. Okay, so now I'm just gonna dump this out. I gotta show them the inside of this drum. Look at the inside of that drum.
Beautiful drum.
Yeah. They put the Mappa Burl, see right here, they put the Mappa Burl ring around the inside. Yeah, really good drums. In 05, this drum was created. Okay, so this drum isn't too dirty, actually. So normally I'd recommend just wiping around the rim just to get any sort of dirt or dust off of there.
This one here is a little bit dirty, so I'm going to do that here myself.
Well, there's paper towel right over there behind that.
That's perfect.
Okay. Okay, now pull these stickers off. And I'm I don't know, can I say anal? Am I anal?
You're very anal.
I'm very okay. I like it when the logo is centered between the throw off and the other attachment on this other side. So, and once that's in, let's put this back on. Dave, what kind of drum heads do you use?
I use pretty much the same as you. When I have my, I have a copper snare, and I'll use
Yamaha?
just it's a Yamaha copper snare.
Yeah.
And when I have a snare that's like a different than wood, I'll use just a regular G2 because I like the warmth. But when I have like my maple snare or my oak
on your
snare,
snare, just a G2 coated?
yeah, sometimes I use G2 corded. Sometimes I use the power dot, which is what that kind of head is. It's the same kind of head as just a regular G2, but it's got an actual extra layer in the middle. It's like a circle dot.
My snare drum, the 9th piece of my kit has a power
okay. Yeah, so it just gives it a little more power in there. But for my wooden snares, like my maple and my oak, both Yamahas, I prefer to have the dry to get that more crack sound to it.
Okay, so now notice what I'm doing here. I'm basically just hand tightening everything, okay? I'm going to tighten each screw as tight as I can go by hand, okay? And to go around and do this just a couple times, because as you tighten some sides, the other ones will become loose again. Okay, so let me just tighten this up. Okay, so now that's as tight as I can go with my hands. Okay, now zoom it out a little bit there. Okay, now I got to stand up here. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I like to crack the drum head. And what I do with that, I don't want to do it on there because you really push down the snare. So I don't know if they can see on the overhead. Yeah, they can see there. Okay, so now I'm going to put my fist in the middle of it. Put my fist in the middle, and I'm basically going to put most of my weight on there. Okay? I wouldn't let Dave do this.
Don't worry, it's not gonna break.
Okay? Yeah, no, it won't break. It could take hundreds and hundreds of pounds. Thousands in your case. No, I'm just joking. Okay, now that that's done, I'm just gonna tighten these all again by hand. You'll see some of them are loose now because we've stretched the head over top of the drum. Okay. Now, I'm going to do it again. And this one's actually not cracking very much. Some of the old Remo heads I used to put on just cracked. Loud noises. But this one might crack more when we tune it up with the drum key. Okay. Now put that back on the stand. Move forward again. Okay, and now basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the drum key and I'm going to just do quarter or half turns. I'd say in this case I'll probably do a half turn, okay? Half turn, and I heard Greg Bissonette talk about something not like the star pattern, but I've always been taught the star pattern. I forget exactly what he was talking about. But basically then I go to the next one and I do a half turn. Then I go to the one beside it and do a half turn. This one, half turn. This one, half turn. This one. And then this one. This one. and then that one. Okay, so that's the first round. Okay. And now I definitely like my snare head tighter than that. So basically I'll just start over again and I'll do another round of that. Okay? So I'll do a quarter turn this time. You can get pretty fast at this. If you just... Okay. So now what I'll do is I'll take the snare wires off, and now I'm going to start trying to pitch match each tension rod. So basically what you do with that is just get a stick, and you just have to listen. Okay, I don't know how well you guys are going to be able to hear this, especially because I don't know how many mics are on now, but you just listen. So hit the stick by the tension rod and listen. And then hit this other one. Hear the difference? So I know I want to go higher, so I should tune this one up a little bit higher, because this one's already at some sort of place. So I'll tune it up higher. It's still off. It might take a bit. I might have to go around a little bit more. That's closer, but it's not there yet. Okay, I'm going to go around again. I'm going to try and match them to this one as close as possible, and then I'm going to go around and tune it up even more. So it only has to come up higher. Okay, now that they're all somewhat even, I'm sure you heard some inconsistencies there. I'm going to go around and just do another quarter turn all the way around. Okay? How's it going over there, Dave?
Good. Just finishing up this 10-inch tom, ready to tune it all up here.
Okay. Okay. So now we got that. Let's try it again. It's still different. You can hear that there. So I'm going to crank this up. Wow, that's bad. That's closer. I'm going to go all the way around now. I like a really tight, really poppy snare drum. Sometimes when I go into the studio, they'll ask for something a little bit thicker and lower, more mid-rangey. So then I'll just basically tune it down and pitch match the lugs. But in this case, I'm going to tune it up higher. Okay. Now let's turn this on and see how it sounds. Okay, and like I said, you can hear that ring, and that ring is in the, it's like every time I get a super tough and Evans ST head, I hear that ring. And so I always just put a line of drum gum muffling on there. Okay, drum gum is made by ProMark. So if you go to ProMark website, you can find out where to buy it. I don't know how well that sounds with this mic, but yeah, so that's it. I mean, I could even tune it up a little bit more, but it's sounding in tune. You don't hear any nasty overtones. You don't hear anything like that. It sounds like a nice, thick snare drum. So I definitely like that. What do you think, Dave?
I like it. I would go a little bit higher personally, but I mean, it sounds great
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, I think it sounds good like that. Okay, let me just grab my paper here. So is 10-inch tom done?
10-inch tom is done. It hasn't been tuned yet.
Okay.
I actually changed the resonant side on it as well, and I stretched that skin out. I haven't stretched the top skin out.
Okay.
Afraid I might break it.
Yeah.
So give it a shot.
Okay. Dave, you're not a big guy. I'm just joking with you.
So, by the way, with this resonant skid here, I was just taking it off. If you want to pan over here,
Yeah.
Jared actually has duct tape and what is this? Just tissue paper.
Yeah.
So just notice that. Why did you put that on there? Was it giving bad overtones?
Yeah,
or?
and when I was in the studio one time, this floor tom just sings. So if I hit anything else, that floor tom will ring, and it's so resonant and so full. So what I had to do is I had to try and kill the resonance, because even after gating it, it was still coming through the overhead, since there was this low-pitched hum coming into the recording. So I just put some of that. That's kind of a trade secret right there: duct tape and tissue paper.
Tissue paper. If you don't have any drum gum left,
Yeah.
I guess you can use that.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was there, to be honest with you. Where's my paper here?
So yeah, that one's ready to tune up. If you want to go over
Yeah.
how tuning a tom is any different than a snare, or
Okay. Okay, so you see I'm just doing the star pattern here. In my experience, 10-inch toms have been the easiest to tune. But okay, and so as far as there's a lot of question about how to tune the reso head, how does that compare? How do you tune it in relation to the batter head? And Dave, do you have anything to add on that?
I do. One thing that I like to say when I'm tuning my resonant head, when we're doing what we're doing right now is we're taking off both the top and the bottom head. A lot of people will tune their bottom head before they even put the top on, and it's very hard to actually do that because you're not hearing how the whole drum sounds with the top head on there. So what I like to do is I just like to do a brief tuning of the bottom head before I put the top one on, and then once I've got both of them, then do a more in-depth go at the resonant head.
Yeah.
So that's
Okay, so I'm just going to hit this and hear how bad it sounds. Oh. It's not that bad. It's got. Turn this off. Yeah. So basically, what I'm hearing now, to me, what it sounds like is the resonant head is higher than the batter head. So I'm just going to hear if that's actually true. They're pretty close.
yeah, they're very close.
They're pretty close. So some people recommend to tune the resonant head the same pitch as the batter head, but I've always found that tuning the resonant head just a tiny bit lower than the batter head always gives me the sound that I'm looking for. But I mean, it's like me and Dave were talking about this before we came in here, Dave, probably just an hour before. And one thing we kind of came to the conclusion is like tuning is extremely personal. How your sound is, that's you, right? That's what defines you as a drummer. So for me, I can give you tips on how to tune your drums and the correct things to do so you don't break anything and stuff like that. But as far as finding your sound, it's just a matter of trial and error. You gotta sit down and you just gotta tune your drums down and then tune them back up. Do you need something?
I was actually just going to say, where is that?
They're
What
over
is this?
there.
The 15-inch? Or
That's the 16-inch. Yeah, those two tom packs there. Okay, so now I'm gonna make sure this is right. Still a little bit of a overtone there, so I'm gonna tune this up a little bit. And I'm gonna tune this up, and then I'm gonna tune the batter head a little bit higher. Okay. And that's just for the sound I like. This is the way this is my favorite sounding, one of my favorite sounding drums in this kit. This and the bass drum. Okay, I think that'll be good. Yeah,
oh, that sounds good.
yeah.
That sounds
That's what I
very
like.
good.
Very good. Okay,
One thing to keep in mind when you're doing this, a lot of people think that their drum set just sounds like garbage and there's nothing they can do about it. One thing to keep in mind is the room that you're in. Certain size rooms, certain kind of insulation in the room, or even objects in the room could actually bounce off certain frequencies a little bit more than other rooms. So if you have a room where one of the toms just keeps ringing, that might not be just the tuning that you have on there. That could just be the room you're in too. So keep that in mind, because if you take that same drum and play it in another room or a live kind of venue or something like that, it might sound completely different. So just keep that in
Dave,
mind.
Didn't I tell you I was anal? You putting
I
the
did that
logo.
purposely for you. Which I.
Oh no. I'm OCD, man. I'm gonna have to take those all off and do them again.
Yeah, that's fine. I gave it to you for the last little bit, so.
That's all right. Okay. So yeah, like I'm saying, like as far as your style goes, when I was first starting drumming, I had a big drum set. I had a 9-piece Yamaha Power V drum set, and so I experimented with. I mean, as far as setup go, and as far as tuning went, and I would experiment for hours and hours on end. And basically, what that'll do is that'll just help you figure out what you like, right? Because otherwise, there's no way to really know. You could hit a electronic kit and it's going to sound good, because those drums the electronic kits sound too good to be drums. I kind of like the acoustic kits and how it's always a little bit different every single time you play them. I don't like having that consistency, but yeah. Hey Dave, before we were doing this, you made the comment that you should always tune up. What do you mean by that?
That is a very important, very important aspect of this. What I mean by always tuning up, it's similar to guitarists when they're tuning their guitar strings. When you have a sound and say it's too high, you want to bring it down a little bit. A lot of people think, well, I'll just loosen them up and get the right sound by going down. Well, what you should in fact do is tune it down past where you want and tune it up to the actual sound that you're wanting to get. It's just a lot safer that way, because actually, you know what? To be completely honest with you, I don't know the actual reasoning why, but I've always done that. I think it's because mainly when you tune down, I'm not even going to try.
You don't even know why.
I'm not even going to try and start that one. But it is.
That's the thing about what we do here, right, Dave? We don't really know what we're doing. We're just kind of guessing as we go, right?
Yep.
No, I'm just joking. We kind of know what we're doing. These resin heads haven't been changed since I bought the drum set. These old black Evans resin heads. I don't even know if they make these anymore. But
you working on the 10-inch or
12-inch?
12-inch?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well,
a lot of times when drummers get their drum kits brand new, they'll have the factory heads on there. And the problem with factory heads is they're usually, sometimes they actually have some pretty decent heads. Sometimes they actually come with Evans heads, and who knows. But more times than not, the factory head that you get are very cheap quality heads that they just buy just to throw on there. So what ends up happening, and I've had this happen to me many times when I was starting out on the drums, is the actual snare skin and the tom skins, the actual batter would come off and stick to my stick, and then I was hitting my cymbals, the actual drum head would actually paint my cymbals. And I got so annoyed at that, and I was wondering, why is that the case? What are you looking for here?
Paper towel.
Paper towel? So that's just something to keep in mind. If you buy a brand new kit, you might save yourself some money by changing the heads right away so you don't mark up your cymbals.
Yeah, that's true. Man, I want to put a challenge out to all those drum companies. There's these big drum companies, Pearl, DW, and everything. They sell these. There's scratches on my drums here. They sell these. Dang it. They sell these expensive drum sets. Anywhere sometimes up to $20,000. And so you order the drum set. You're really excited, and you get the drum set. You pull the drums, and there's these crappy 1-ply, no good heads on there that you basically have to change out right away. It's like, why don't they put on a decent drum head? Like, why don't they put on the drum head that the majority of the drummers use? If the majority of drummers use 2-ply heads, which I'm guessing that is the case. Mm-hmm. If the majority of drummers use 2-ply heads, put 2-ply heads on your drums when you shift them out. I know it's more expensive, but people are going to be happier. And there's all these young drummers who pull their drums out of the box. Like Yamaha, I know, is doing a lot of entry-level kits. DW is with the PDP line, is doing lots of entry-level kits. A lot of these young drummers, they buy them as starter kits, and they don't know how to tune their drum set. And so they wonder why they sound so bad. And in some cases, there's nothing they can do about it, because they got these crappy 1-ply heads in there. Does that not make you really mad?
It makes me mad because I was one of those drummers, and I remember going through heads so fast, and then not knowing how to change them, so I just kept them on there, and it really ruined a lot of my drumming experience.
Can you pass me the 12-inch?
Rezo?
Sure. Rezo and batter. Are you pulling the stickers off?
Yes.
You're lying to me.
Yes.
Hey, Dave! Where's your attention to detail? No, Dave's teching for me today, so that's all right. I can't bug you too much. You're helping me change my drum heads.
Yeah, this is a mixture of Jared's chores mixed into a video.
I've been dreading doing this for so long. I've had these heads sitting in my house for months now, and I just haven't gotten around to it. I've been really busy. But okay, let's put on the Rezo head. See how I'm matching up the logo, Dave?
Oh,
Is that new? It's new
look
for
at
you,
that.
right? Yeah, it's interesting. Dave, you playing a lot lately?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
I don't know if
What's
you
your
guys know
band's name?
whereabouts we're located, but we're right by where the Olympics are going to be this year, and our band
The Winter Olympics.
Winter Olympics, yeah, 2010, and our band is doing a lot of Winter Olympic shows. It's going to be great.
Cool.
Band is Yuka. I don't know. A lot of people were chatting about it before, so
Yeah.
yeah.
What's your most popular song?
Our single is "It's About Something," and
Yeah.
you can hear that on our MySpace or iTunes, whatever. It's
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Cool. Yeah, you guys are good. I think you should do some more Yuka play-alongs maybe next week.
Yeah, we should do that. Maybe get them in one time to do a maybe a live little set.
Yeah.
Show you what it's like to do a live
Do you
show.
wanna I was going to ask you guys, do you guys want to see a live band in here? Because we have the capacity to do it. We have a little bit bigger studio. Within a week or so, we're going to have the proper equipment to multi-track audio, so we could actually do proper band shoots. So if you guys would like that, let me know. Okay, because I don't know. I want to do these lessons are for you guys. So if that's something you want to, thanks, Dave.
No problem.
If that's something you want to see, then definitely tell me, and we'll get Dave's band in, and that'd be fun.
Yeah, it'll be good. Show you how
Maybe you let me
setting up the
sit in a
metronome
few
list
songs,
and all
eh?
that. Yeah, a couple songs.
Really? You would?
Oh yeah.
Okay, there you go. Okay, for the
Done.
record, Dave said I could play a few songs with his band.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Okay, so like Dave said, I'm just kind of tuning the Rezo head a little bit. I didn't even break this one in. Normally I just do that on the snare drum, but I know some people will crack the drum head on the Rezo and on the toms and on the batter side toms. Okay. Man, this is a lot of drums.
Actually, it's funny you're talking about doing live shows. A lot of the times when you do a live show, a lot of drummers will share drum kits. And one thing that's a bit of a pain for that is if it's your kit, you don't know who's going to be playing on it. So you could technically very easily have a drummer that's a really loud drummer, has no technique, and just bangs your drums and just creates a whole bunch of dents in them, or can really take your drums out of tune. Or on the flip side, if you're the one sharing the kit or if you're sharing someone else's kit, you don't know what the condition of the heads are going to be in. So you can get there and expect to be playing a really nice kit, and the heads are just shot. So something to keep in mind for any of you guys doing live sets, that sometimes it's not the best idea to share kit for that reason.
But sometimes the sound guys or the club owners, they won't. You have to share a kit. They don't want to.
Sometimes that is the case. Yeah.
Majority of stuff I play, it's like they want just one kit on stage, and so you kind of. And I'd rather use someone else's kit than let everyone else use mine. So I always opt to use someone else's.
Yeah.
Okay. So as far as choosing drum heads, like Dave, you play like in a kind of heavy, not heavier rock, but alternative rock band.
Yeah, more like a alternative.
And you play with Evans G2, is that right?
I play Evans G2, which is the 2-ply heads.
Yeah.
And right now I have coated heads on my kit. And basically the reason why I did that is we're actually writing a new album. And I played for the last 2 years with clear head, so I wanted to see if having a coated head would actually give me any different kind of a sound or feel to this kind of songs. So I just switched. That's a personal preference, and it does have a different feel, different sound to it as well. So yeah.
I've always used, for the most part, I've always used coated drum heads.
Yeah.
Just because I think there's a warmer sound. They're easier to tune for me. And I'm going to crack this head. Okay, now I'm going to tune this 12-inch tom. It's all finger tight. I'm doing the same thing I did with the snare drum. Now I'm just going to do partial turns over here. And I mean, you'll sometimes, if you roll your finger on here, you'll find ripples, okay? Like there's a ripple right here. Now that should come out as long as it's even. I know in some cases it doesn't, and occasionally the drum head could be slightly warped. Okay, so let's give this thing a hit.
Sounds really good. Yeah.
That's nice. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pitch match it here. You know what? Maybe I should just do this first. Okay, this one was a little bit lower. It took me probably to find the type of drum head that I like. It took me probably 5 or 6 years. I tried everything. I tried all the Remo stuff. I tried fiber skins, 2-ply, 1-ply on top and bottom, clear, coated, pinstripe, everything. I've had EC2s, G2s, G1s. I've had EMADs on the bass drum. I've had Power Stroke 3. I've tried Aquarian. Aquarian heads I don't like at all. That's like the worst. I can't say it's the worst, but that's the. Oh, that sounds worse. You know what I did? Sounds worse. What I'm going to do is because I cranked up the bottom a little bit there. You saw me pitch matching the bottom, and so I tightened the bottom, and so that's probably what's causing the drum to kind of whine like that. So let me tighten the top a little bit. I know the bottom is pretty much even now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tighten the top a little bit, and then I'm going to put it back on the drum set here. Okay. And now I'm going to hear how it sounds. I'll put this mic on. Okay, and now I'm also just going to pitch match around the drums. Sounds pretty good. I don't know how you guys are hearing that. I'm hearing it in this room here, and I'm definitely tuning to this room. So it might sound bad for you, but it sounds pretty good for me. Okay.
Sounds very good for me out here too.
Yeah, I think it sounds great.
There's this one here. I haven't tuned that one yet. I've kind of left that one for you. So.
Okay, so I'll tune the.
We're not done there.
Huh? Okay. This is the 16-inch floor tom. It's pretty good. Did you match it?
No, I haven't yet.
That sounds really good. Okay, I'm gonna put this on here. Watch your foot. Sure. Okay, we're getting there. We're slowly getting there. So for anyone who's just kind of joining us now, what we're doing is we're replacing all the heads on this drum set. It's a DW Map of Burl drum set. We're replacing all the heads on it, and we're gonna tune it up. And then I'm gonna play it at the end, and maybe I'll let Dave play it, but probably not. And okay, so far we've got the 14-inch snare with an Evans ST Super Tough, and we have Evans G2 coated, and we're still gonna replace this one.
Yep. We got G1s on the bottom.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So you can hear it's tuned too low right now. I won't do it. I like to first get it sounding the best I can without muffling. Okay. Because a lot of times people will use muffling as a way to cover up a poor sounding drum, and you know, in this case, this drum is just out of tune. So you could muffle it and you could get rid of that ring, but then the drum would still technically be out of tune. So in this case, I like to just get it in tune, then I'll put some muffling on it. So you can still hear that little bit of a hum there. I think I'm going to take the whole drum up, okay? And this is something that's sort of like, how do you know whether to tune it up or whether to tune it down? Well, like I said, it's whatever sound you like. If you like the drum when it's tuned really high or really low, then just do it that way. But the main thing is to make sure that the lugs are kind of pitch matched and sounding the same all the way around the drum. Let's hear that sounds. See? What are you looking for?
I'm actually looking for a resonant head, but that does sound really good.
There is no resonant head for the 14-inch drum.
Good to know.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay, now I'm going to put this back on. Like I said, this floor tom sings. It just doesn't stop, which is nice. Cool. Okay, you have the 13-inch heads there. I'm going to take this. Do this now. Man, it's good to be in our new studio here, hey?
It's usually by this time we're both sweating because it's just so hot and cramped in that room. Now it's actually not bad.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think I was talking before about what we're doing here for people who just came, but basically we're tuning this whole drum set, and at the end we're going to be doing a bunch of giveaways, okay? Easy questions. All you have to do is be registered and following our account, and then simply type the answer to the question in the chat when we ask it. It's simple, okay? Had a lot of the same winners lately, so hoping to get some new winners. There's Kevin plays drums. I think it's Yanato.
Yanato's another big winner too.
Yeah, I saw him in there before. He's signed up with 2 accounts.
Oh,
yeah, mods will get you, man. Mods will get you.
So you doing the 13-inch there?
Yes.
And we have a reso for that, I believe?
Yes.
Okay.
You had it in the...
Yes. I'll pass it as soon as you're done here.
Okay.
I'm just putting the old resonant head back on this one since we don't have any for this head. It's not that bad with the resonant side because you're not abusing it so much. Basically, if you take off an old head, it's good to keep that head off and either maybe give it to someone who...
I got to get another head for that, hey?
Yeah, you do, yeah. But yeah, with your batter heads, it's not good to reuse them. I mean, unless they're still in pretty good condition, but then you shouldn't really be changing them anyway. So
no. So another thing to consider when figuring out what type of heads to get for yourself is how often you have the budget to replace heads. A lot of guys maybe or maybe you like the 1-ply heads, but you're a type of drummer who just grab this. You're the type of drummer who hits a little bit heavy. If you don't have the budget to replace them regularly, then I probably wouldn't recommend you get a 1-ply head. As far as Evans go, if you're a really heavy hitter and you don't want to be replacing your heads all the time, you don't want them denting really easily and stuff like that, I'd recommend going for like an EC2 or a G2 coated. I need the batter side for this. Right down there.